All right, as I'm getting ready to start the booking stage of my influence tour, well, actually, I am starting the booking stage of my influence tour, my quest to guest speak on 50 podcasts in 100 days. I'm realizing I need a checklist. So I have a checklist in my mind, but I need to pencil out the checklist. And the other benefit of this checklist is I'll be able to provide it to my Influence Army members who are in some stage of launching their own influence tours.
You know when someone is selling from stage and at the end the audience gets up and rushes to the back of the room to buy? That's a table rush. My name is Misha Z, and the Table Rush Talk Show is all about bringing you the tools, strategies, and tactics that you can use to grow your audience and inspire them to buy.
Yes, so I did my founding member launch to create the Influence Army, the Influence Army community, family, membership, call it what you will, where I'm providing the resources, the community support for people to go on their influence tours so they can explode their impact, their authority, their income. Imagine how your life would change if you guest spoke on 50 podcasts in 100 days. And the reason I'm telling you again about the founding member launch is, as I said, hey, I've got this idea. I'm going to create this community, this family, this membership where you've got access to community support, all these resources, checklists, everything you need to do to put yourself out there, to put your message out there in a big way so you can start driving leads, contacts, networking, all these sorts of things. And a part of the founding member launch is, hey, I'm going to build this and I'm going to give you a discounted price to be in this membership as I'm building it. And the great news is, as it gets dialed in, you're going to be in at the lower founding member price for as long as you're in this membership, or as long as this, as long as this membership is going, which, in my eyes, it's going to be in perpetuity and past my life. Hopefully my sons are running with the business or this or that, but I'm hyper committed to it. But you never know. You never know. So I've created all the steps to go on an influence tour. So we've got your story bank, assignment number 1. And keep in mind, all these assignments may be reordered along the way here, but in effect, it's, here you go. Assignment number 1 is your story bank. Get your stories together. Assignment number 2 is the call out your audience headline. So you're calling out your audience and you're defining what you want to talk about as you're putting yourself out there going on an influence tour. And then we've got your feelings, thoughts, and actions bridge statement. Good morning. And sorry about the diversion. Holy mackerel, a really cute, nice person just walked by and said hi in a very sweet and endearing way. Threw me off. But that's half the fun of recording and walking. Anyhow, back to it. So we've got the feelings, thoughts, actions bridge statement. That's assignment number 3. And basically that's where you're defining the customer's now pain state and then their future happy state. And we're putting words to what are their feelings, their thoughts, and literal actions in each of these states, so you can be the bridge for them from their pain state to their happy state. And then we've got the power theme framework. we've got that's assignment 4. Then we've got assignment number 5, the soft launch announcement framework. And that's where you do a soft launch, which you announce that you're gonna go on tour, and that announcement that you're gonna go on tour leads to opportunities right away. And then we've got your podcast searching. That's assignment number 6. Podcast searching, how to find podcasts with your perfect audiences, how to find their emails. And then assignment number 7 is the pitch the show host framework and, your email templates. And then assignment number 8 is the launch, which is where you're announced to the world that you're going on tour. But I've changed number 8. That's going to be booking. It's announced that the announcement's now going to be that you're booking shows. Ooh, I love that. That's a great way to say that. But what I've realized is that I need to actually make checklists for each of those assignments or stages, or call it what you will. And how this relates to memberships is, if you're creating a community, a paid membership, where you're providing community and support to help people, achieve a goal to get from point A to point B, it's recommended that you have checklists so people can complete each stage and know that they're moving forward, that they're having success, that they're having wins, both micro wins and macro wins, or small wins and big wins, like microeconomics, macroeconomics. Microeconomics would be economics of tiny systems, so maybe the economics of a company. Macroeconomics are economics of the world. But you get it. So checklists are very powerful. They help us know we're succeeding. They help us know we're gaining ground. They help us know we're getting things done. They help us have a clear vision of the future. So many benefits, and I've had on my to-do list create a checklist, and so it's finally time to start making those checklists. And really, it was for me, out of necessity for me as well, as like, I'm going to start booking. I'm going to start doing bookings. What do I need to start doing? Hey puppy, what do I need to start doing bookings? And so the checklist is email script dialed in. The pod pitch email script is ready to go. The initial list of 50 people is ready to go. So I was like, oh, okay, now let's make that bigger and broader for my community, for my family, for my Influence Army family. And what's that look like? And so, for example, the Story Bank Get Your Stories Together worksheet, when is that good enough? How do you know that assignment 1 is done and you can move on to assignment 2? So part of the Story Bank worksheet is having the 4 story arcs, 2, 3, 4, 5 story arcs of your life that you can pull stories from. And so it could be, hey, have your story arcs labeled. So mine is my recovery years, which is pretty much my whole life, but I have tons of stories to pull from recovery and the recovery community, and lessons learned from there, and mentors, and all these sorts of things. And then it's my sales success years, my 20 years of sales experience, and the success, and the systems, and the financial successes, and the habits, and the everything that I learned, building systems, making scripts, finding lead lists, on and on and on, and then there's my divorce failure years. I can't remember what I call that exact story arc, but it's like you're the collapse years. And then my fourth is the digital marketing years, the now years. So those are my 4 story arcs. And then within those story arcs, you pull your stories out. So and you just, on the worksheet, you literally just put, a word or a phrase that reminds you of a key story or a key moment in your life. And so you've got your stories, your customer stories, and your influential people / mentor stories within those story arcs. And so it'd be simple to know that you're done with story bank. With your story bank is that you've got your 2, 3, 4, or 5 story arcs labeled, and that you have, let's say, 2 stories, of each little section. So you've got 2 customer stories, 2 your stories, 2 mentor stories within each of your story arcs, if that makes sense. The story bank is an ongoing process, so you're constantly adding to it as memories come up, as stories comes up, as new experiences happen. But how do you know that assignment is done? So on the checklist, it would be have your story arcs named and have a few stories, let's say 3 stories for each story arc. Bam, now move on to number 2. Call out your audience headline. That's who you're going to help and what are you going to talk about. And in effect, all right, when's that done? Well, that's done when you've put down an audience that's good enough, and I have a formula for how to talk about how to say, put a headline around what you're going to talk about. So you have that good enough. You have those 2 things filled out. And then so then you can move on to number 3, assignment 3, feelings, thoughts, actions bridge framework. And so again, there it's going to be, okay, what's the checklist? What are the checklist items that are done so that you can move on to the next assignment? So I know what these all are in my head. I've done them all myself. So I just need to make an actual checklist so it will help my community, my family, my Influence Army members. And yes, and then so my booking, I'm in the booking phase, so I can also have my checklist for my booking phase, which is going to at least have on there, you've got your list of people you're going to talk to, you've got your email ready to go, and start sending pod pitch email guesting requests out. Okay. I think you get what I'm talking about. Everyone have a good day out there. Get your checklists in order.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Table Rush Talk Show. For resources to help you sell your stuff, go to belove.media/resources. That's belove.media/resources. And be sure to subscribe, comment, 5-star, and share. Thank you again for listening.